Hey folks, welcome to Proposal Week. So last week, let's just do a little review. We did translating a technical conversation. So you all found some really technical, jargony, recent discovery, recent news on Google Scholar that was, academically published, right? Most new, where does most news get a lot of their information? It's like published at a university and then it like filters down through a press release. And we did a great job translating that. The week before that, we did the informational interview requests. So we're doing a lot of professional technical writing. So this week, keeping in line with that, think of this as proposal week. So you all know what a proposal is. Proposals often they take many forms. It can be like a donation request letter. So people writing grants will write a proposal. I have a lot of friends. I have a social worker friend who part of her job is doing proposal for state grants for funding. Proposals ask for several things. They ask for money, they ask for opportunities, they ask for time, right? So this week, think of this as most of our assignments are authentic assignments, right? We have a real audience, we have a real purpose with our technical challenges. So this week, we're going to write a real proposal. We're going to propose. You're going to propose a new club to our Students Association forum here, and so you'll start by looking at the list of clubs that we do have at Lake Washington Tech, and then propose a club that we don't have. That's your proposal, right? And clubs always come with a budget, right? So this is essentially you're asking for money to start a club, right? Okay, so you'll see that we have the discussion where you'll list your proposal and you'll do peer review on a colleague's proposal. You have the list of clubs at LW Tech, and you have the club charter form. This is if you want to go all the way, right? If you want to go all the way, if you really truly believe in your club and you want to actually make it happen, this is where you can submit your actual proposal and go all the way for your club to be considered. And we'll look at that in a moment. And you have a short reading on audience analysis. And so, folks, it all starts with audience analysis for most technical writing, right? Who is your audience? What do they want? What are their expectations? What are their needs? So let's start thinking about who our audience is. I'll click on the discussion this week. Think of it this way. The Office of Student Life here at LW Tech is your audience. You have to persuade them. You have to convince them. You have to speak to them that the club that you're proposing, right, is going to meet a real need, right? It's going to fill a gap. It's going to add value to Lake Washington, right, the community here. So that's essentially the main technical task this week, is to think about who your audience is. It's formal Office of Student Life, right? You have a link here. You can read about them, right? What are their interests? What are their needs? What are they looking at, right? What are they looking for you to add in terms of your club idea? Okay, so that's our audience. So we get a little background on proposal. I think the first way to start, right, is to go through that LW Tech club list, right? You'll see the clubs that we have. You'll see some inactive clubs from times former. You can always make a proposal to reactivate or sort of reanimate one of those corpses, right? Like bring it back, right? And you have to give a rationale for why, right? So why would you want to bring back a club that's sort of been inactive for a while? And some of these went inactive because of COVID, right? So that could be part of your rationale is, COVID sort of decimated a lot of student life on campus. So we have some clubs that need to be reactivated, right? Or you're suggesting a new one. So take a look at that club list. I can click on it right now for us too. And if you need inspiration, I'll show you sort of another way to work in a second. So here's the club link. You'll sort of see what's available and what's inactive. So we have, right, Black Student Union, construction specifications, dental hygiene, design club, get hired lions, horticulture, Minecraft, right? Chess club. And then you have these previously active clubs, right? So you could propose to bring back the culinary club, right? Because we have a thriving, right, baking and culinary department. So we need to bring back this essential club that speaks to the needs and interests of LW Tech students. Does that make sense? And something that you should also do is I give you a link to the mission and values of this college. Your proposal should definitely quote or cite or allude to or reference, right, our mission and values here. That is you speaking to your specific audience, right? So you could say, I know that one of our missions and values is to be a place of workforce training, right, and education, right, quote, unquote. And so, right, reactivating the culinary club would give more practice in this essential workplace skill, right? This week I know culinary has partnered with the library, and they're serving up baked goods with books. Right? It's this great partnership. So that could also be in your club proposal, right? Because you also need to list an activity or a speaker that you might have, right? So you have to sort of describe and narrate what your club will do, what it will look like, what purpose will it serve? Is it primarily education? Is it primarily networking, right? What is it, more of a social club? So that's all going to be in your purpose statement. So we'll look at the 8 or 9 steps I'd like you to have, and then we'll look at the actual. If you go all the way and you want to submit this, this assignment mirrors, right, the actual what you need to your proposal if you go all the way. So you definitely need a club name, right? And I give an example of, we don't have a LW Tech College Automotive Club, right? So that's the title of my proposed club. And then I give a faculty staff advisor, right? Use me, folks, if you don't have anyone to list there, right? If you haven't really worked with an instructor or teacher on campus, right? Use me. I would love to start some of these clubs as a faculty advisor. Right? So then after the name of your club and your faculty advisor that you're proposing, then you give your proposal. I give you an example of this, right? For my proposed tentative college automotive club, right? It has a clear purpose, right? To enhance and facilitate the education of auto mechanics, right? Or people who are interested in the automotive industry, right? It's networking, it's educational, right? So that's my purpose. How does this club reflect LW Tech's mission and benefit our students, right? That's step number 5. That should definitely be in your purpose. And folks, think of this as you're writing 2 to 3 to 4 paragraphs, right? If you have this in one paragraph, that's probably way too short. So think of it as about a page double-spaced, okay? And I don't care how you arrange your paragraphs. You just need to answer and respond to all of these questions, because these mirror and mimic the actual, right, LW Tech club proposal plan, right? So all of these have to be somewhere or answered somewhere in your paragraph. You decide on the structure. Summarize sort of how your club will be organized, how it will operate. So for example, let's say you don't like that classic hierarchical structure of, we have a president, we have a secretary, and we have, right? No, we have a tri-chair. We have 3 presidents, right? We have rotating responsibilities. Everyone gets to be the president. Everyone gets to be the secretary. Right? That's more democratic. That's non-hierarchical. You could put that in your club proposal. That's very interesting, right? Rather than, I've got a traditional president, vice president, secretary, treasurer. So, right, be original, be new, right? Reach for the stars here. There's a lot of ways to organize and to share responsibility and leadership rather than locking it all up in one person, the president, right? I personally, right, love radically democratically governed organizations where everyone has an equal share, right? There is no one person with power. Everyone shares power. Goals, right? What are the intended goals of your club? And again, if you haven't told us, if you're going to have events or speakers, or what's the mission of your club, right? Number 8, right? That has to be there somewhere. And then think of this as, you're writing this as like, it's a letter format. So you should definitely, say, Dear Office of Student Life, right? Club proposal, right? That could be, think of that as your opening sentence. And then you definitely want to end on a, thank you, Clubs and Activities Department, for considering my request. Okay. And those are the parts. You should also look at the actual club charter form. Think of this as, if you go all the way, this is what you exactly have to have, right? So you put your name in, your email, your proposed club name. See how now we're getting into the assignment exactly. Will your club be a chapter of a national organization? So if you're confused about that, like I was, I looked at the UW for inspiration. A lot of their clubs are chapters of a national organization. So let me pull that up. So if you look at the UW's clubs, we have American Institute of Architecture Students, UW chapter. American Institute of Chemical Engineers, UW student chapter, right? American Indian Science and Engineering Society, UW chapter, right? So these are national organizations, but you can open up a chapter on campus, right? So you can also think in terms of this, and you can also get inspiration from, right? The UW has like dozens of, like, there's hundreds. So you could go through these and really get some inspiration, right? So if you're struggling with like, well, I don't know what club to, get some inspiration. Read through these pages. See what the UW does, okay? And, it's not going to let me go to the next page if I fill this out. But the next page is very similar to our other steps, right? What's the purpose of your club, the mission of your club, who's your advisor, right? This just breaks it up into more of like a little text boxes. I'm asking for, right, this in paragraph form. Okay, folks, that is your challenge this week. I hope this fires our imagination. And again, I hope a lot of these clubs come true. Email me if you have any questions. Thank you.